All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast. And for the final segment of today's show, we are going to talk about the rest of the postseason, and I will give my predictions, who I think is going to ultimately get to the World Series and who is ultimately going to win it. So obviously, so I do have a graphic for today's show. So I couldn't get the whole bracket in perfectly, so you're just gonna have to bear with me on that. But so obviously Blue Jays, Diamondbacks, Braves, and Orioles are kind of cut off. So I apologize for that. Um, but yeah, this is the bracket right here. So Blue Jays are the are playing the Twins, and then you got the Rangers and the Rays in on the American League side of things. So I think before, did I say? I guess I did say the Blue Jays got the second. So yeah, they ended up with getting the third wild card. So that's my fault. I made that mistake. Um, yeah. So the Rangers, they're at the 5. Rays are 4. Twins 3. Blue Jays 6. Then on the other side, Diamondbacks got the 6. Brewers are the 3. Marlins are the 5. Phillies are the 4. And then of course you have the teams that are on the byes. The Orioles who are cut off. The Braves who are cut off. The Dodgers are cut off, or not cut off, and then you got the Astros, both 2 seeds. So I said Blue Jays, they're gonna move on. So I guess they're gonna end up playing. I don't. Yeah. So then you got and then I said the Rangers move on from there, or no, the Rays. Sorry. Um, then on the other side, I said the Diamondbacks, and then I said the Phillies, of course. So they would end up moving on. And yeah, so I guess when that happens, then Blue Jays are going to end up playing the Astros, and the Rangers or the Rays are going to end up playing the Orioles. So those would be the matchups there. And then you got the Diamondbacks would end up playing. So I actually have both 6 seeds moving on. And then you have the Phillies, who are going to end up playing the Braves. So you got a couple of so you got an AL East matchup, then you would have an NL East matchup, and then an NL West matchup. So I think though the Dodgers and the Braves move on. I think the Astros move on. Um, the Orioles, if they end up playing the Rays, or they end up playing the Blue Jays, I just like the Orioles. I think they move on. So the Final Four is going to end up being, which is going to be the teams that are all on byes, which you kind of think at least one of those teams isn't. But like I could see, I mean the Phillies. Listen, I think the Phillies could beat anybody because of their lineup and because they got 2 guys at the top of their rotation that in the postseason, at least last year, were good. So that could definitely derail this. I just don't. I don't think anybody is going to beat the Braves. I just don't see it happening. Unless again the Dodgers, but there's some concerns with the Dodgers rotation. That's one of the biggest concerns there. Is their rotation when it comes to the Dodgers? Same thing with the Orioles too. So I think ultimately, though, it's going to be the Houston Astros that get back to the World Series on the American League side. And I don't know. I just feel like when it comes to the postseason, and until they're done, that's when I'll believe it. Because, listen, they weren't done when I kept saying, I said the Rangers were going to, win the division. Rangers ended up choking that away. Astros get it, and they end up getting the AL West again, and they end up getting a bye. And now, listen, I think they're gonna end up going because listen, you got Verlander, Christian Javier pitched good in his final start, so you hope that carries over. So I just think they're the best team right now. I just don't see the Twins, the Blue Jays. I don't see them getting past Houston. You know, listen, the Rays, like, they're a very good team, but I just don't really trust them to go far in the postseason. I feel like, their pitching gets burnt out at the end, so the Orioles, listen, they could definitely make it all the way. It's just, again, I have concerns about their rotation. And of course there's concerns with the Astros too. I mean, they've had some bad stretches over the course of the regular season. They got swept by the Royals. So, I mean, anything can happen. It's just I feel like when it comes to the Astros, I think they're going to go back. I really do. And then I think the Braves are going to make it. I think this is the Braves' year. Acuna he's the MVP. Matt Olson's had a great year. The rotation is very good. They're a complete team. And I just feel like this is their year. Last year it was a disappointing ending, losing to the Phillies, but I think ultimately they go all the way and they get to the World Series. So I think it's going to be Astros against the Braves. So this is going to be a repeat of 2021. And I think the Braves are going to take it. I think the Braves end up winning the World Series, which again is a popular opinion, but they're a very complete team. And I feel like the Astros, with their struggles this year, I can't really say that they are going to win the whole thing. Can they? Of course they can. But I think the Braves, they're going to be the World Series champion. Because I don't know who's going to beat them. Phillies can. I think the Phillies and the Dodgers have probably the best chance to beat them. But I think it's going to end up being the Braves going all the way and winning the whole thing. Just because they've been insane. And on the Astros side, listen, they've had their tough stretches, but I trust them over a lot of these teams. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. Who do you guys have winning the World Series? Is it pretty much the same as me? Which for a lot of people it probably is. But so that's basically my thoughts on it. But it should be very fun. Obviously, those are my predictions, and I'll see how accurate they are as the postseason goes along. But yeah, I think the Final Four is going to end up being, everybody that's on a bye. I think the Orioles. I think it's going to be them. I think it's going to be the Astros, Braves, Dodgers. That's the championship series right there. However it shakes out. So, and then ultimately, yeah, it's going to be a repeat of 2021. Braves over the Astros. But we're just going to have to see. I mean, listen, the Braves, they have a complete team. And I don't know. I don't see anybody knocking them off. The Dodgers obviously have had a really good season too, winning 100 games, but ultimately, again, concerns with the rotation. You got Kershaw, who's older, Lance Lynn, Bobby Miller. Like, the rotation's not, as good as it has been in years past. The lineup's very good. That's the key right there, is your lineup. You got Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, JD Martinez having a good year, Max Muncy. All those guys have, I think, was it over 30 home runs this year? I want to double check on that. Freddie Freeman's been great this year. He's been another MVP candidate. Because I don't know if it's that or it was like over 100 RBIs. Let's take a look. At least over 25 home runs. Freddie Freeman finished at 29 home runs. But yeah, I think it had to be over like 100 RBIs, like 25 home runs, 100 RBIs, I guess. Yeah, but listen, I think that's the competition that the Braves are going to have to deal with, is the Dodgers. But I just feel like ultimately the Braves are going to get back to the World Series. And then there's no games on Friday, and then the division series starts on Saturday. Yeah, so yeah, the Orioles, they'll play the winner of Tampa and Texas. Astros will play the winner of the Blue Jays and the Twins. Braves will play the winner of the Marlins and the Phillies, so that's like the NL East bracket right there. And then the Brewers and the Diamondbacks will play. One of them is going to play the Dodgers. So, and then where to watch the games. So with the wild card series, Braves Rangers, it's going to be on ABC. Blue Jays Twins will be on ESPN. Diamondbacks and Brewers will be on ESPN2. Marlins and Phillies will be on ESPN. So that's all those series. And then starting on Saturday, the Orioles series with whether it's Tampa or Texas, that'll be on Fox. So both American League series will be on Fox. So the Astros playing whoever, Twins or Blue Jays will be on Fox. TBS will have Diamondbacks and Brewers playing against the Dodgers. And then it says to be determined for the Braves. So I'm assuming that's going to be, let's see. CBS is not letting me look. Let me see. Let me check. Well, actually, no. Hold on. Let's see. I'm looking right now. I don't know why MLB doesn't have like its stuff updated, but all right. So yeah, I don't know what that's gonna be on, but yeah. So at least that's what Saturday's gonna be, because it says to be determined, and now the Fox logo just went away on the National League Series. But yeah, but check your local listings. But yeah, at least for the wild card series, you got ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, and then ESPN for the last game of the day. So that's Tuesday through Thursday. So yeah, that's basically it. We're at the playoffs now. This is it. This is where things get crazy. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe. I try to answer all the comments. But obviously, yeah, like I said in the beginning of the show, there's going to be no show tomorrow. But I'll be back on Wednesday, so we'll talk about the games from Tuesday. And obviously, do our recaps, our previews, and all that. So yeah. But yeah, no show tomorrow. But like I said, we'll be back on Wednesday, and then we go from there. So, but yeah, hope again, as always, it's great to have you guys here. Shortly after this, I will record the Patreon episode of this, and then make sure to go check that out. Go to patreon.com, search up GSMC Sports Network, and yeah, that's pretty much it for today's show. Obviously, like I said, I had some. I was stressing to get the stream ready because I don't know what was going on with the software. This never happened before, but yeah. But we'll be back again on Wednesday. Hopefully, the stream will just start up. I was able to figure it out, so hopefully, nothing crazy happens after that. And then yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be recording the Patreon shortly after this, so make sure to check that out. All the shows from last week are up on Spotify and on both YouTube channels broken down, so if you missed anything, make sure to go check that out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So as always, thank you guys for joining me today. Again, we'll be back on Wednesday. Enjoy the playoffs for tomorrow. And yeah, so as always, I'm Kenneth Gruenfelder signing off from the GSMC Baseball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Take care.